Hi, welcome to the end of 2021, and boy, what a year it's been, my friends. I, for one, am thankful that this year has come to an end, but that's not to say that it didn't have its moments. So, as we all tend to do when the new year is upon us, I wanted to reflect on what's happened this year to me and look back at both the bad and the good that 2021 had to offer for me personally. I mean, everyone has a different story, so I encourage anyone to do the same and look back on the highs and the lows of this interesting year. But in the meantime, here are my good and bad of 2021. Good. I got accepted into my honours course. Pretty cool. Started up and began to study 360 film, which I'm absolutely enthralled with. I genuinely love it, and it's super exciting to be back studying again. And I remember, it was just great fun. Bad. I started the year out unemployed. Woo! So great. I had a retail job for the Christmas period, but then, like it tends to, COVID took that from under my feet, and I was left with naught, which was pretty tough, starting a year off without a job. Gotta love it. However, good, I got a job at The Cumberland, which is an award-winning cocktail and whiskey speakeasy bar in Manly. If you haven't been there before, I highly recommend popping by for a visit. It's a beautiful spot, really nice place to work as well. And my God, am I learning stuff. Really great for that kind of education side, and like my skills have developed so much. So pop by, say hi, have a drink, and I promise we're all very talented bartenders. Bad. One of the scariest nights out was when I was going on a family trip. There were 4 of us in the car plus a dog, and on the motorway our car decided, why not blow up? And so suddenly smoke starts pouring out the back. And it was literally engulfed in seconds. It took us 4 hours, I think, to get home and sort that out, but we still ended up going on holiday. But my God, was that an ordeal. On the side of highway, people flying by, just waiting with a car that was smoking, essentially. So, what a fun Easter. Good. I got quite into climbing this year. For a while, I was kind of very consistently frequenting the climbing gym Skyward in Freshwater. Wasn't great at it. I picked it up. I was doing alright. I'm an alright climber. I even splashed on a nice pair of shoes for it, just because, why not? However, bad. I had to stop climbing because my Achilles was too sore all of the time. Turns out my incredibly tight calves and the abuse of my heels in both football training and wearing those climbing shoes, which are so tight against your heel, not good for you. No, I kind of caused some Achilles tendonitis. There was these small micro tears down my heel, which were not fun. Not fun at all. So no more climbing for a while, and no more football, which I guess stung the most, because football is a lot to me. But the road to recovery was on, and I was determined to get back into the game and get back to my peak physical condition. So good. Earlier in the year, I was lucky enough to visit the virtual production studio owned by the Technical Direction Company, which is based in Alexandria in Sydney. Basically just got to see how it all worked, and it's that kind of screen where they use the advanced camera tracking technology with an LED screen, and they create virtual backgrounds for both movie production and for live conferences and live streaming. Honestly, one of the coolest pieces of technology I have seen to date. It was goddamn awesome. I love the whole experience. I swear, if I had access to that technology for a day, the power I would have would be immeasurable. Bad. So, the stress and anxiety surrounding this new internship that I started up around the same time, it broke me. It broke me pretty bad, and because of that, I had to, well, I didn't have to, but I decided, as would be the right course of action, to get started on a round of antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication. After so many years off it, I hadn't taken pills for 5 years for my mental health, so I was reluctant to jump back on them because I hate the way that these meds mess with your mind, and essentially I just needed something to kind of bring me back to earth and then just provide me with this sense of balance, equilibrium to kind of, make me feel normal again, I guess. So I started on mirtazapine. If you haven't heard of that, really great drug. Did it for a bit, but it helped for a bit, but just kind of a real shock and a bit of a scary moment when you have to go back onto medication. So good. WrestleMania 37. Wowie, what a show. I watched it live with my mate Coop, and it was an amazing event. You had like Reigns versus Edge versus Bryan, which was fantastic. You had Belair versus Sasha Banks, stole the show. Cesaro versus Rollins was freaking awesome. We had an in-ring debut for the Giant Omos. Just an amazing show, so well done, and like storytelling wise was brilliant. Best part though was Logan Paul getting stunned. I mean, that's always worth a rewatch and a replay. Bad. The Fiend versus Randy Orton. That, not going to go into detail, just, I haven't felt that underwhelmed since the Suicide Squad, the original one, so take that as you will. Good. Around this time, my cocktail making really started to improve. I did a cocktail gig for a 21st party with my friend Corey, and my god was that a blast. It reminded me why you shouldn't drink on the job, and that's because drinking on the job makes it fun, and then it's no longer a job. Anyway, beyond that, in the meantime, I was just working through the Cumberland, and it was kind of becoming my home. I was more comfy, and I was nailing all these fancy drinks, and I just felt like a really good cocktail bartender, which was nice to be good at that, because it was always something I enjoyed. So bad. Withdrawal syndrome. So if you haven't heard of withdrawal syndrome, essentially when you come off a medication that's affecting your brain chemistry, if you don't come off slowly, or if you don't take the proper precautions, it really messes with your brain, and you get these brain zaps when it feels like your entire brain just goes fuzzy for a minute. You feel dizzy a lot of the time. But yeah, I didn't know about this syndrome before, but then my doctor kind of suggested switching meds, and so I did, with almost no weaning period. And it was in this time period that I experienced the worst anxiety I have ever experienced. Wow. I couldn't sleep because I was afraid I wouldn't wake up. I had many mental breakdowns before shifts at work. I was unable to do any productive work on anything, uni or otherwise. Turns out fucking with the brain chemistry that drastically, not good. It doesn't go down well. Good. 3,318 push-ups in 25 days. Yep, so that was that push-up challenge this year. I raised a few $100s for the charities involved, all involving mental health, which is something obviously close to my heart. To be honest, I didn't really complete the challenge. I was having my anxiety at the time, and I felt like just like a giant horse poo, just one big, long horse poo. And I did make a video about it, which was, I guess helped spread the word, and all the push-ups I filmed on a green screen, lol. But yeah, bad. So, we were in lockdown. Again, if you didn't realize, it went from a few days lockdown to a few weeks to a few months lockdown, and everything stopped. Work, play, fun, it all came to a halt. I think the one thing that stung the most was that I was just about to come back to football as well. Like, I'd fixed my injury and my Achilles was feeling a lot better. I brought it to a point where I could run a full 90 minutes without feeling pain. And literally the game I was meant to come back to, COVID did what it does best and just said, nah, none of that, and took it away. So I don't know, like the lockdown did a lot worse to a lot of people, right? But I think in hindsight, I didn't realize before how much football did for my mental health, both physically, like exercise, but then also the social aspect of it was just, with that taken away, I started to struggle. It also meant I couldn't continue my studies really, because I had to film stuff. I had the practical component, which was a massive part of my research. So I had to put it on hold, and now it's due in next February, which is great. But, have I lost my motivation? I maybe in the new year I'll find it again, but the wind just took out of my sails, I'll be honest. But I felt like every time I tried to achieve something, it would just fail. And at this point, my depression became the dominant kind of voice in my mind, and all I could hear, like every morning I'd wake up and just hear this, just give up, stop, and just don't, just give up, it's fine. And I never fully gave up, but hearing that voice every day, it's tiring, because it's a constant battle. And I don't know, like the last big lockdown sucked, but this one, this really did. It's really got me, this one. Good. My aunt got married, which was a beautiful ceremony. She's the youngest of my mum's sisters, so it was a very big event for our family. It's something we look forward to since 2019 as well, when they put it together, and which is a classic story, pushed back by COVID. The wedding was amazing and like a really bright spot in an otherwise dark year. However, bad, we couldn't be there in person. Like COVID does again, we were unable to fly out. Even just my mum had to miss out. We live streamed it and watched it at the same time. God, it was a beautiful ceremony, and like watching it with the family was really nice. But it's just, it would have meant the world to us, and especially my mum, if we were able to be there and be with the family. But next time, hey? I got a wedding at some point, so maybe, I don't know, future. Good. New laptop. Ooh. Wow. This thing is sick. It's friggin' sick. Sick as hell. So I had to replace my MacBook 2012. Obviously, like, that's way gone. And I wanted something that could handle the kind of creative work I want to do. So things like 3D modeling, compositing, music production, 360 editing. So I ended up going for the Razer Blade 15 with the RTX 3080, which is a fucking beast of a computer. It's so good, and like, Oh. I'm gonna be making some wacky ass shit with this computer, I'll tell you now. Bad. I'm a clumsy bastard. So one week I cut off the tip of my finger with a peeler at work. Wow, that's pretty bad. And then, a couple weeks later, I put a big ass hole in my hand, and I broke some glass at work, and it went straight through the back of my hand and quite deep, but luckily it didn't stay in there. 5 stitches and a week off work later, I have this fat ass scar on my hand, which you can't really. I don't think the depth of field is gonna let you see it. That's fine. It doesn't matter. I also have a story that people have told me could be improved, but I think it's a pretty good story. I'm not against glass through the hand, so. It was my first time having stitches, which was pretty huge, because I'm terribly afraid of needles, but yeah, what an experience, and yeah, I don't know, it was just something that happened that was like, wow, okay, this is new. I didn't enjoy it. Good. I got to promote The Wheel of Time, the new Amazon Prime show, by dressing up as Lan Mandragoran, I think the character's name is, from the show, and myself and another bartender went around Sydney and made cocktails for influencers and promoting the show. Me and another bartender dressed up as these characters from the show, and we went around Sydney to these influencers' houses, and we made a bunch of cocktails for them, and it was really fun. It was literally the perfect job for me. I got to dress up as some kind of wizard, shake cocktails for famous people, and then still be home by 6 p.m. Wow. I mean, I had a great time meeting everyone, but also making them drink was really fun, and it was a bit whack, a bit weird, but I can't complain, it was pretty fun. Bad. Upon finding out that my medication was affecting my sexual function, I sought help from a professional who suggested that the answers might actually be in my porn use. Didn't think I had an addiction, but perhaps I was more affected than I first thought. So, at her suggestion again, I started a reboot. Basically, no pleasing yourself or watching porn or anything on those lines for 90 days. 90 long, hard, dry days of self-control. And I'm still going strong, very proud of myself, but the dopamine detox doesn't feel great straight away. I mean, inherently you're just avoiding feeling good for 90 days. So it's been tough. I'm hoping in the long run it pays off, but it's one of those things where right now in the moment you just want to feel good and like feel happy. Good. I found my Crocs. Yeah. So those are going to be out and about this summer. Just you watch me. Bad. Balancing both jobs became a little bit hard as the need for staff increased higher and higher, and the number of staff available became lower and lower. Christmas time started putting pressure on both my jobs, both industries, and thus shift numbers at both jobs increased, and it became hard to kind of stay on top of it, and honestly it kind of got the best of me, and I was feeling anxious and stressed and depressed a lot, trying to keep both jobs in check and keep both jobs happy, and it wasn't good for me. Overall, good. I perfected my belly flop.
Look at Randy Orton slithering. Watch out!
Bad. So the stress of everything going on, from both work and my personal life, it got to me a bit, even with the meds, and I ended up picking up a cigarette again for the first time in nearly 3 years. I'm not really proud of that relapse, but it was something I couldn't stand any longer, and with a lot going on mentally, I just needed something other than a drink to, I guess, bring myself back down to earth and relax. Good. Spider-Man was pretty good. I don't know if you guys have seen, no spoilers, promise. But Marvel's had a great year, so it's definitely been killing it. And bad. So I got a cough recently that felt spicy and luckily wasn't, but I guess I was at a point where I was kind of hoping it was the spicy cough. But even still, it hasn't left me yet, which is great. It's still here, not spicy, but also I dosed up a med, so I was out of it. But this whole time I just felt like I was defeated. Like, I spent a day in bed before work thinking how I hadn't woken up feeling happy in a very long time. Like a very long time. And I didn't know how to fix it, and I was worried that this is just my life now. And I kind of try and remain hopeful, but I've kind of fallen into this acceptance that I had to just keep pushing things, keep pushing through, and just get to the new year. And so I kind of entered this autopilot phase and just trying to make it to another checkpoint, and that was the new year, and here we are, I guess. I guess I made it, but it wasn't fun by any means. Good. I'll be honest, it's not been the best year for me. I think with my fluctuating mental health, I mean, we're all having tough years, and I don't want to be whingy and complaining. I think I just want to share that life's been shit. It's been fucking shit. For all of us, I think. And we're all trying to figure stuff out. But the best part is that we're not alone. Look, the point is, 2021 has not been great. If I'm honest, it may have been one of the worst years of my life to date. But here's the thing. I'm done being upset about it. I've shed my fair share of tears this year. And the one thing I've learned is that, hey, it's only up from here. Yeah, the further down you go, the more you have to go up. All I've needed is persistence. And I feel like, for me, that's the word of the year, is persistence. Keep going, because we have to hope that it gets better. We do. And the hedonic treadmill keeps us smiling wherever we are. So keep trying to get to a place where you feel happy. All the shit life throws, we're going to get through it. And we're going to just keep smiling the whole way. I mean, after all, some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. This'll help things turn out for the best. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile.